as we get ready here at the Linares Center in Antipolo. Thank you so much for joining us here on Father's Day. I'm Paolo Del Rosario, not the father yet.
And points off the turnovers, a lot of fast break points, ultimately losing by 5 points. I thought, to be honest with you, NLEX was in complete control of the game, especially in the first 24 minutes of action. But it was just a different kind of team that NorthPort, the kind of game that NorthPort displayed in the second half that gave them that necessary victory for them to get their second win in the conference.
Rodney Brundial sails in for two after Jumar Fajardo opened scoring here for the San Miguel Beermen. Great start here for San Miguel, but then as we know, the NorthPort Batang Pier do have the potential for something great as Cade Flores is picking up where he left off.
He only missed 2 times in their previous game, had his career high of 26 big points, shot 11 out of 13 from the field. He loves to use that pick and roll. He rolls strong to the basket and he catches the ball so well.
And a miss there from Jumar Fajardo, a rare miss as CJ Perez sails in for two after getting the offensive rebound.
When Nebra wins later, then they will go up against Converge, who will end up at number 4.
Absolutely right, Coach. Joshua Munzon drains a triple.
Complements the game of Junmar Fajardo. Leave him open or give him a little space from 3. He's gonna knock it in.
CJ Perez slashing, driving, and his second attempt is good.
With Magnolia, he was just averaging 18 to 22 minutes per ball game, but in this team, easily 34 to 40 minutes per game.
Domino Bueva there all over Marshall Laster. Wami Chongson missing out. Jumar Fajardo settles for the jumper. And the lovely thing about the shooting of Jumar Fajardo, for a big guy, his form is better than some guards.
Right. The only thing lacking right now is his 3-point shooting. He has attempted 7 times in this conference, has not made 1. So that perimeter jump shot is definitely part of the arsenal of JMF.
Of course, once he starts making it, sabi ni Marshall Laster that he'll start fearing for his job because that means he could do everything. Josh Munzon going the other way. Munzon. Flores. Swing that around to Calvin Abueva. Calvin into the teeth of the D. Franu, wide open 3. That's good.
Franu had a spectacular ball game against NLEX. He shot 5 out of 7 from 3.
This 3-point shot's brought to you by Rexona. And
not only that 5 out of 7 accuracy from the 3-point area, he also scored 21 big points.
Of course, Franu, I love his story, Coach. During the PBA on tour, not yet drafted, he had a chance to showcase his wares with the NorthPort Batang Pier and impressed so much that he found his way battling to a contract throughout the conference right after. Cade Flores scores again in the interior. Again, there's nothing more dangerous than a team playing without pressure, Coach.
And yes, and NLEX learned that. NLEX actually had a chance to be number 1 if they won that ball game. But of course, NLEX played with a lot of loose pieces. They were not able to play with a 100% full complement. At least 9 guys were not able to suit up in that particular game.
Brand new now. Waiting for the pick coming from Dami Kuntapay. Again, ball popping around here. Kuntapay. Great find. And that time, it falls kindly to Kuntapay, but Brondial not so kind. Almost a turnover here. And just smart passing. Marshall Lassiter with an easy 2. They're getting their looks, Coach, but the shot's not falling here for NorthPort.
Only 29% from the field. Not a very high number, especially if you're up against a premier team like San Miguel. With a lot of games left, they know that they will not be able to advance. But that was still a great fighting spirit that they displayed against Road Warriors in their previous game.
Joshua Munzon trying to play catch-up to Don Troliano, but Troliano finishes.
You know, the thing with Don Troliano is he has to play consistently. I mean, there was a game that he scored 24 points. In another game, he failed to score. So it cannot be that kind of disparity.
This 3-point shot is brought to you by Rexona. As the San Miguel Beermen are finding their range at all levels of the floor here.
13-point advantage now for San Miguel.
And finally, Kuntapay ends the drought here for NorthPort Batang Pier. Still 10-point lead, though. And that time moved out to a might have done better collecting that one.
Yeah, but for Contapa, he was already wide open, like 2 feet away from the basket. That's why even the crowd reacted that he did not shoot, but probably, you know.
Cade adds that that career high meant everything to him, especially as someone who came from a small town in Sydney where he grew up just playing street ball with his sister. He also proudly shared that he's the first among his cousins to finish college and to become a professional athlete. That's why for Cade, every game is more than just basketball. It's also about making a name for himself and his family. Paolo and Coach RG.
Thank you so much for that report. That was Pauline Versosa with a great story on Cade Flores. Great profile on him, and now we understand why he plays with so much effort. But speaking of effort, here's Don Trollano scoring yet again.
And there has to be more effort for NorthPort to sprint down, defend the paint, get defensive rebounds, do not allow San Miguel to score on the break. Because when you take a look at the dynamics of these two teams, you feel like NorthPort is a faster team. But so far, 10 fast break points for San Miguel and only 2 for NorthPort.
Chris Ross running the show here for San Miguel Beermen, shuffling that off to Motautua with a little Euro pass, and Don Trollano. Joshua Munzon. Motautua right in front of him. Gives it to Contapay. Swings that around to Balanza. Evanelli settles for a 3. That's good.
That's a good basket by Nelly to cut the lead down to just 10 points. 5-0 counter run for Batang Pier.
Important sequence here as the NorthPort Batang Pier could inch a bit closer. Pitching that forward to Contapay. The pass off the mark. Great free safety roll, by the way, from Kahili, as Motautua gets his own miss and then scores.
He did not give up that time. Motautua showing a lot of strength underneath. And it is obvious, Pao, that he lost a lot of bounds. So that means he's lighter in terms of going for second or third jumps.
Elbow may have gone past the beard and into his jaw. Just there.
And that is also the downside for being...
Trying to smash through a stone. Here's Motautua driving all the way inside. Missed. Contapay takes it away. Munzon running the other side. Here's Munzon working on Chris Ross, and he goes straight to the cup.
And that is his specialty. Going on a straight line, attacking the rim.
It's a 12-point lead here for the San Miguel Beermen as Don Trollano ships that to Chris Ross, who tees that up. He knew it was a miss and got his own rebound. They go inside, and that's an easy 2 with Cade Flores fouling Cruz for the N1.
NorthPort is playing with a relatively shorter lineup. Calvin Abueva is not inside.
Here's Mo finding Jericho Cruz. Skips past one defender and then shoots over Taha.
But because he went closer to the basket, he used the bank, he scored, and now they're up by 19.
Up by 19, 44-25, 6:29 left here in the first half.
Well, do we expect something?
Nothing expected.
Nothing.
Oh, I also know that my family's not watching, so I can joke about it. As Fran Yu getting that one to fall. Working on Rosales, kicks that out to Calvin Abueva. Abueva trying to go through the D. And gets a basket in one, and NorthPort starting to show signs of life here.
And usually on a positive note for his team, he plays with a lot of energy. Make no mistake about that. He does not lack in that department.
Yeah, just goes to show us that there's still some ways to go, but what progress we've made so far.
Oh, quite definitely. It is not just basketball that we are progressing. Volleyball, such a great development, great impact in the world scene.
Speaking of great impact, here is CJ Perez on the attack against they beat Thailand recently, and has shown us that that win that we had against them in the SEA Games was no real fluke. Jumar Fajardo finds Rodney Brondial. Brondial getting past Calvin Abueva. Other contributors here who have had championship experience already, as Kwekwe off the turnover. Oh, able to escape CJ Perez.
Not a very good execution after that ATO for Coach Leo Austria. This team turned the ball over and allowed NorthPort to score on the break.
Here's Junmar Fajardo. Want to pass to Brondial. Marshall Lassiter buries a triple.
And that is why I've been an advocate of this one. Get the ball in the hands of Junmar. Defense usually collapses, and the perimeter players will have cleaner looks from the outside. Only the second 3-pointer for San Miguel, but enough to increase their lead to 16.
Great ball movement there from Northport, but then Fran Yu couldn't finish on the other end, strike back. Here's Marshall Lassiter. He's been pick and roll with Jumar Fajardo. This time he elects to go at it by himself. And the great thing about Marshall Lassiter is that as much as we talk about his outside shooting, his selection when he elects to drive is typically elite, Coach.
Oh yes, 5 straight points for Marshall Lassiter. And he has a lot of championship experience. And you know that the success of San Miguel is congruent to the performance of Marshall Lassiter.
Oh, and Joshua Monzon getting 3 balls to go, and they're going to be hoping that this means better things in terms of shooting from beyond the arc.
That's correct.
Here is Chris Rosales, settles for the elbow J, and Jumar Fajardo.
Well, rebounding and assist, also a big-time contributor in today's game. Oh, great execution. This is what you like to happen. Fantastic execution, just how Coach Leo Austria drew it during the timeout.
Through first, San Miguel Beermen taking on the NorthPort Batang Pier. Welcome to the third quarter. I'm Paulo De Rosario alongside Coach Ryan Gregorio. Purin Versosa joins us on the sidelines, Coach. Let's take a look at what the San Miguel Beermen need to 5 of 23 from beyond the arc, talking about the NorthPort Batang Pier, while on the other hand, San Miguel at 2 of 15. So it really has been a battle of who could score in the paint, as CJ Perez does just that.
4 unanswered right now for San Miguel. Everything is easy for them scoring here in this ball game.
Here's Fran Yu, down to Dami Kuntapay. Joshua Monzon kicks it around to Yu. They're playing along the 3-point line, and there, Ali Budandadi scoring 3 against his former team. 20-point lead still, though, for the San Miguel Beermen, who have been very much in charge in this game so far. And what a feed there. Rondial and Junmar Fajardo with a big-to-big connection.
Junmar working on his assists, because it's easy for him to look at his open teammates, because Contapa is easily 4 inches shorter than Junmar. Even Cade Flores easily 5 inches shorter, so there's better vision for Junmar to spot open teammates. Another 3-point or 4-point shot by Monzon. Earlier it was Bulonadi with a 3. Now Josh Monzon with his version of a 4.
Okay, signs of life here from NorthPort Batang Pier. Wami Chongson playing the 2-man game. Jumar Fajardo takes a shot to himself. Oh, and almost a steal here. And eventually Jumar Fajardo collects it. CJ Perez off the feed from Junmar.
Another unselfish act there by Junmar Fajardo. Instead of going all the way for his layup, he saw CJ Perez 2 steps ahead of him. He was just a willing passer that time.
4-pointer, no good here. Dami Kuntapay has it. Hand off to Bulanadi, working on Marshall Lassiter. And Bulanadi settles for the jumper, and the bank is open on a Friday Father's Day. Sunday Father's Day, rather, for Bulanadi.
Always a sharp shooter. Now he's working on his pull-up J's. We know him to be an accurate shooter from the 3-point area. He's adding another arsenal.
Attacking the closeout is CJ Perez, and he is one of the best in the league to do that.
The need for better decision-making and composure. He also pointed out that they did not follow the game plan offensively earlier, saying the team was too gigil, rushing plays and missing their intended point of attack. And so moving forward,
had one of the more upfront reactions there. CJ Perez gets 3 and shows him how it's done. CJ Perez has had a fantastic offensive game for himself here, Coach. As we take a look at his numbers here, that is now 24 points for CJ Perez.
24 in just 19 attempts, which is good. He had 17 points in 23 attempts in their previous game. That actually caused their downfall because he only made 7.
Wami Chongson joins in the 3-point party.
Support, not just from the government, but also from the private sector. And that is why we're seeing great progress from not just basketball, also volleyball. We've been talking about that. And speaking of progress, Lassiter, specialty 3-point shooter, second 3 here in the ball game. And he had to adjust his game, especially coming off a long stint with Terra Firma, when he was really the focal point on offense. Everything just started and ended with Wami Chongson. But due to the presence of a lot of offensive players here in San Miguel, he had to step back. Probably he's going to be the fourth option on offense. The thing with this guy is, yes, he's an immaculate shooter or efficient shooter from the three-point area, 44% from deep. He's also averaging 11 points per ball game. But he has to know when to shoot and when to pass. That is the biggest challenge for Roamy Chongson, especially by having Junmar Fajardo inside as his teammate.
Seth Balanza hit a 3-ball there, so Roamy Chongson brings this one down. Pauline also mentioned that he's getting mentorship from Chris Ross, who will help him do just that. Controliano. Calma getting extended minutes here, with Junmar Fajardo getting a bit more rest. Here's Mo Tautua. Oh, the spin move and getting that in.
Oh, beautiful. That is the simplest scenario one, Pao. And when ROS wins, it depends now on...
by how much?
Yes, the spread.
Balanza able to score. And of course, I was actually with you a while ago during halftime break when we were being shown all of these different permutations. It could go a lot of ways, Coach. Even with a 1-point win from ROS, it will be a different scenario from a 2-point win of ROS.
right. Or a 28-point win of ROS, or a 30-point win of ROS.
Exactly, Coach. So
just a lot of, again, complexities will happen. So Barangay Ginebra will definitely aim for a victory.
Another turnover here. Jericho Cruz finishes the possession with a lay-in.
Credit that forced turnover to the strong defensive stance of Mo Tautua that actually ignited their fast break attack.
90-62 in favor of San Miguel Beermen. They are rolling here, almost at the 100 points mark, and we still have about a minute to play here in the third quarter. Sidney Onlubere with the stab.
NorthPort obviously could not trade baskets right now. They're still down by 26 with under a minute remaining here in the third.
Oh, that's a great block there coming from Sidney Onlubere. 92-64 as we take a look at that again. The timing impeccable. Clear as day, all ball. Motautua. Jericho Cruz coming off the big pick from Big Mo.
Oh, good teamwork between these two players, Mo Tautua and Jericho Cruz.
Jekate. Rosales in front of him. Jekate settles for the 3-ball and he gets out of fall.
It's so obvious that NorthPort really has to improve on, and that is 2-point percentage allowed. 35 out of 54. First.
Here is Mo Tautua. Oh, what a feat to Trogliano. Just an intelligent cut there, and Mo Tautua knowing exactly what to do.
And you like this because they're getting a lot of minutes. The bench players are also getting involved in their offensive system. They're gonna be a lot harder to go up against, especially in the playoffs, because the production department also, in terms of better team chemistry, those are the things that the coaches are looking at this point, especially when they're down by a big margin. This is where character is usually manifested, but it seems like NorthPort is just so deflated at this point, down by 32 after that booming trifecta by Don Trogliano, or a 4-pointer by Don Trogliano.
I don't know how we can call that quadfect. I have no idea. But there's Taha, who felt that he did get fouled, but then nothing called. Here's Jeron Teng feeding Jericho Cruz, and Cruz with a nice push shot.
And this is just
Don Trogliano. I remember some players adjusting their celebrations every time hit a 4-pointer. Di pa sanay eh. Oh, and Paulo Taha with an acrobatic finish.
This guy always plays the right way. Whether they're launching a comeback or they're down by a big margin, he will always play with this a lot of strength. And speaking of strength, Mo Tautua again, just an easy attack. That downhill attack by San Miguel, and it's not just Mo Tautua. It has been an open lane here for the Beermen.
Gabe Flores settles for the jumper, in and out. Number 3 from Calvin Abueva, 108.74. Jeron Teng Oh, and that was hammered by Kate Flores.
Shot by Jeron Teng, and just to exemplify his upper body strength in traffic, still was able to maneuver. A creative shot by Jeron Teng after this timeout. He will shoot. A lot of familiar faces. It's nice to see them watching our games live, and not only that, also producing a gold medal for our country. Always nice to represent our country in international competitions.
Yeah, it's a golden age for Philippine sports, they're saying, especially with its success in so many sports in different arenas across the globe. Aston Torriano.
Given a rest by Coach Leo Austria. They're comfortably on top. And another layup by Paulo Taha. And just averaging 4.5 points per game. But of course, you know that if you give him an opportunity to play, he can deliver.
Dami kong tapay. That's a pretty look. Speaking of, here's Jeron Teng. A jumper is a bit short. Jeron Teng famously worked on that jumper for extended period. Has yet to really translate to consistency from Jeron. As zone, couldn't get the 4 to go. Of course, Jeron worked on that with a certain Renan Eduardo for a period of time. Here is Fran Yu. Oh, good find inside to Paulo Taha.
Paulo Taha, the lone bright spot right now for NorthPort. Just plays so hard. Always nice to have that kind of a player in your roster.
Former CSB Blazer, who played under a certain coach Richard Del Rosario.
How many wins did they have, like, in one season?
Let's not count that, coach. I'm not quite sure because I'm not quite sure. Paulo Taha raised a 3-pointer.
And that is what it is. Just a joy to see, of course, Meralco winning their first championship here in the PBA.
That's a franchise coach that since they became the Meralco Bolts, tried to set the right building blocks and foundations with great coaching from the very beginning.
Correct. They just struggled mightily, especially in the early part of this conference. In the elimination round, their first few games, they were not winning a lot of games. Eventually, they got their momentum going for them. Still ending the 11 games above 500 with 6 and 5. But unfortunately, because of inferior quotient, healthy, and also CJ Perez also healthy and well rested.
Here's Jeron Teng with an easy finish.
So, 4-man, and there is still Mo Tautua and then JM Calma. So JM Calma really has to work on his craft.
Brand new with a quick burst and the 2. But coach, as we take a look at the San Miguel Beermen moving forward here, it has been a tough conference for them in the past. Well, we take a look at the Philippine Cup last time around, losing to the Meralco Bolts in heartbreaking fashion. You can only imagine how much they want to reclaim their crown, especially in the All-Filipino, considering that there was a time it felt like they were unbeatable in the Philippine Cup.
Oh, they owned it. In the previous conference, it was also a bad conference for them. Coach Leo Austria had a very good off-season. He worked on his team, went to their offensive system wherein Junmar is a focal point on offense, and now look at the progress, look at the development, look at the level of not just relevance but superiority that they have.
And that'll do it though, as the San Miguel Beermen with a dominating win over NorthPort Batang Pier, 126-91.